It's that time of year where we start to reflect on what our lives have been like in the past year and look forward to whatever is going to come to us in the new year. We've all been through a lot in the last couple of years and feeling the urge more strongly than ever to realign with our best selves. So, is it time for you to make lasting changes in your life? It's not about winning the praises of others, fame, or fortune. We transform ourselves because it brings with it a level of transcendence. With growth and development, we are able to accomplish more and journey further. And even if you're not interested in physical travel, we're all longing for seeing our own adventures play out more fully. So here's your chance. Whether you love the idea of a fresh start at a new year, or hate that some arbitrary day dictates goals and resolutions for so many people, we are crossing the threshold on another new year. And so I want to share a few of the practices and actions that will help you with your goals. Whether you find this video 6 weeks or 6 months from today, it doesn't really matter. These things have to be in place in order to help you accomplish your goals. When it comes to goal setting, we often obsess over those outcomes, whether it's losing 20 pounds, getting six-pack abs, running a 6-minute mile, or starting a new business. These clear outcomes are important if you want to achieve something, but they're also not all they're cut out to be. You see, when we think of success and happiness, and we attribute it to accomplishing these goal outcomes, we are entering into a slippery slope of seeking after mountain peaks. There's always another mountain peak that we can chase after, and as humans, we're wired to constantly seek more. And this doesn't mean that we shouldn't have these outcomes that we are after, just that we need to find more balance with also appreciating the journey that we're on towards those goals. Progress is super important for feeling fulfilled with our lives. It's one of the drivers of flow, and growth is also one of the 6 basic human needs that we all have. So we have to look at the journey that we're taking towards the outcomes just as much as whatever the ultimate outcome is in order to feel most fulfilled. And also it's going to help us with those long-term goals as well. Because when we look at those bigger goals and we break them down into smaller steps that we can accomplish in shorter time frames, it helps us with being more consistent towards the long goal and for the long journey ahead of us. So stop trying to overhaul everything at once when you've got big goals that you want to achieve. Instead, break it down into single action steps that you can take consistently on a daily basis, and it's going to help you with the long term. So how do you do this? The framework that I like to use is the GSPA: Goals, Skills, Practices, Actions. When we take our bigger goals and we start to chunk it down into smaller and smaller steps that we can accomplish on monthly, weekly, and daily time frames, it helps us in becoming the type of person that ultimately achieves that outcome. Because the outcome goals are like mirages far off in the distance, and the further away that that outcome may be for you, the easier it is to become demotivated and just lose interest in it overall. When we start to work on the skills, that allows us to transform ourselves into who we need to become, the type of person that is able to reach those ultimate goals. And taking it the next step down, practices are the habits that we work on ingraining that allow us to create new patterns of performance for ourselves. And finally, there's action steps that we do on a daily basis. So this could be something like planning out the time we're going to take to write, or it could be the hour that's spent in deep work doing writing. There's so many different ways that we can take those practices and apply them in different ways that are unique or dependent on whatever it is we're trying to achieve. And so now if we take this framework of GSPA and we think about the goals as well as the actions that we are taking on a daily basis, the next important point to make that's going to help you become more successful with your goals and allow you to achieve more is considering the confidence that you have behind whatever actions you are taking. So when we confidence weight our actions, it allows us to be way more consistent. For example, if we're trying to do something that we just know there's no way we can't do, we don't have the support behind us to do it, or we're just not quite ready for a specific action, then it's going to be really hard to be consistent with it. The more that we get towards a 9 or a 10 on a confidence scale of 1 to 10 with the individual actions, the more will also help us to get towards those bigger goals. Because it's always easy at the start of a new year or when we're starting on new goals to feel really motivated and want to take action in the moment. But if you really look at it objectively and give yourself the chance to scale the individual actions first, it's going to help you with the long-term consistency. And like I said, progress is far more important than any specific single action that we can take. And then the final point that I want to make is that accountability and getting help when you need it is also very important to having more success with your goals. And I say this a lot because I see how valuable it is to get external feedback. You know, whether it's in the flow state or just for any type of goal that we are after, external feedback is something that is critical to staying in flow as much as possible. And we often get that through having some sort of coach or external accountability to help hold us to that. And we see this as well with the best of the best in business and sports. They all have multiple coaches or trainers, even sometimes for each aspect of their life, that they turn to consistently to help them be more successful. And many of us are also more willing to push through the dips and the hard times when we have something external to us that we feel accountable to. So if you're not in a place financially to hire a coach, call on a friend or find somebody else that's also trying to accomplish something similar to your own goals and use them as somebody that can be an external accountability for you. Because it's just clear that those people that have this sort of external support system often see the best lasting changes and the most dramatic results with their goals. And as I mentioned in this video, having clear goals as well as specific actions to take towards those goals is something that's going to make a massive difference in how successful you are. So I've included in the link in the description a free download of the framework and a worksheet that I use to break down the bigger outcome goals into specific actions, as well as the skills and practices that make that up. So if you want to download that and use it to help you when setting your goals for 2022, or whenever you're watching this video, check out the link in the description. And I thank you as always for watching the video, and until the next one, find your flow.